Welcome back to Man Down Sports. As you can see from the thumbnail, we want to talk about the Denver Nuggets, man. And I kind of want to put an emphasis on their role players. It's not going to be so much about Jokic, but I really want to put an emphasis on their role players, specifically Peyton Watson and Jamal Murray, Tim Hardaway Jr. as well. Like, they've been really impressive, man, doing this 9-game stretch without their best player. And what a lot of people thought was the end all be all for their team. Like, a lot of people actually thought that without Jokic, this team would because they was predicting he'll be out 17 games. Like, people was predicting that they would probably only win 3 out of those 17 games. And in the first 9 games, they've already won 6. Right. So what a major difference 2 weeks takes, because the main foundation, I wouldn't even say the main foundation. The main foundation surrounding Nikola Jokic's MVPs and his praise has been triple doubles. Right. So triple doubles has been when people be like, oh, Jokic is great. Tell me why he's great. Do you see the triple doubles? Do you see the 20-point triple doubles, the 30-point triple doubles? Triple doubles, this, right? So his whole existence, especially his MVP candidacy, and really his legacy, because his legacy is MVPs. Like, when you look at Giannis, he's got one MVP. Oh no, I'm sorry. He's got 2 MVPs and 1 finals ring, 1 finals appearance, one finals win. You can't really put his legacy on rings. Can't really put it on MVPs. He's only got 2. There's a lot of people with 2 or more, right? Somebody like Kareem, 6 MVPs, 6 rings. On top of, he was the number 1 scorer of all time, right? So his legacy was winning. His legacy was winning and the scoring title, the scoring record. The scoring record and winning. Michael Jordan's legacy was winning and being the best player we've ever seen. Being elite on both ends, being elite mentally, having the heart as well, having the physical conditioning. Like, when you look at everything that grades a player, is he in shape? Yes. Is he in the best shape? Yes. Right. So it's one thing to be in shape. That's a prerequisite for every player. Some people are missing that. It's probably a small, as far as like the superstars, it's probably a really small amount of people who aren't in shape. Right. I think Anthony Davis came into the season not in shape. That's bad. Right. I think, I've seen Draymond Green like years ago. He's been great since he changed his diet. But you know what? I ain't gonna say Draymond Green because he's not a superstar. I seen Carmelo Anthony or Charles Barkley let their weight get in the way, or their conditioning. So there's examples of superstars who haven't been in shape. Shaq used to come in out of shape, and then he'll play his way in shape midway through the season. So the prerequisite of being in shape is, you're a professional. And then for the superstars, we really expect the superstars to be in shape. Zion was on the verge of being a superstar. Being in shape was one of his main hang-ups, right? So being in shape is very important. And from there, you go from, okay, are you in shape? Yes or no? If it's yes, okay, cool. Are you in the best shape? And then it's just, all the superstars, okay, they all in shape, except maybe 1 or 2. But as far as who's in the best shape, it's probably only 1 or 2 up there in the best shape. As far as I'm conditioned, I'm physically able to take this 82 game season. You know what I mean? I can, so the physicality of Michael Jordan, the conditioning of Michael Jordan, all was A+. Him as an elite defender was A+. Him as an elite scorer was A+. Everything that you can grade, his mental toughness, A+. His heart, that drive and determination, A+. Everything you can grade a player was A+. So MJ's legacy is a lot of that. He was the best player in almost every way you can go grade a player. And then on both ends of the floor, he was that also a great winner, right? That's his legacy, right? And I say all that to say this: Jokic's legacy has been not winning. It's been a triple double. What they use his one ring for is, okay, well, he got one ring. Now we can compare, because really, you can't really start comparing players to Bird, Magic, Kareem, Michael, Hakeem. You can't really start comparing them to those guys if they don't win it. You just be a great player who didn't win, and then you'll be compared to Melo, Chris Paul, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Reggie Miller. Great players, never could lead their team to the finals and win it, right? CP3 led a team to the finals. Barkley led a team to the finals. Patrick Ewing led a team to the finals. Allen Iverson led a team to the finals. Like, Reggie Miller led a team to the finals. There's a lot of superstars who are in that conversation who led a team to the finals, couldn't get over the hump. So that elusive ring for some people, yeah, it's hard for me to put you in that conversation. Karl Malone led a team to the finals. It's hard for me to put you in that conversation with the guys who won it multiple times, right? Right. But there are also superstars who was able to get there and get one ring. Garnett got there, got one ring. Dirk got there twice, got one ring. Rasheed got there, got one ring. There are some players who got there and got one ring. Giannis got there, got one ring. Jokic got there and got one ring. That's a different category. So from the Charles Barkleys and the Karl Malones and the Reggie Millers and the Iversons and the CP3s, who was able to lead their team. I'm not just a superstar that's out there just putting points on the board. I'm actually leading my team somewhere, and we get to the finals. Okay, that's great, but I didn't get over the hump. So I'm at least over. Like you would take a Charles Barkley, and at least he got to the finals. Won an MVP as well. Iverson got to the finals, won an MVP as well. Dirk won an MVP before he won his, but at least they did that one thing. Got an MVP, got to the finals. I kind of established what I'm doing actually at least works. At least it can work during a perfect season, right? So it separates you from the Carmelos who never got an MVP and never got to lead his team to a final. So, yeah, you can separate Barkley from Melo if you want to. Right, you justified in that, right? But you can't take Barkley just because he got there and put him on top of maybe. I mean, it'd be hard to put him on top of Garnett and Dirk at his same position, who actually both got MVPs just like Barkley, both led their team to finals, but they actually won it and actually got there multiple times, right? So that gives them a little nod over them. But you go a step up, and then you take the one ringers like Dirk and Garnett, and then you start putting them aside Tim Duncan, who got 5 rings and got there 6 times and got multiple MVPs, right? Okay, well, they all might be on the same tier, but this guy got 1 ring. This guy got freaking 5. No one at the Dirk and KG level or the Barkley and Karl Malone level has ever challenged Tim Duncan as the best power forward of all time. It's almost a consensus that Tim Duncan is the best power forward of all time because his formula worked 5 times. Getting there and winning 5 times means something. His formula works. What he's doing is working. It is what it is. It works. So that's the separator. Now we get to Nikola Jokic. The pattern has always been the one ringers separate themselves from the no ring superstars, right? So you got no ring superstars, you got one ring superstars. It's a separation between one ring and no ring. If it's the same player and one got 1 and one got 0, the one with 1, you gotta if it's a tie, that's the tiebreaker. But it's a separation. But there's a separation between 1 ring and 5 rings. Absolutely a separation. Like it has to be a separation between 1 ring and 5 rings. Right? So when people start having these conversations saying Nikola Jokic has 1 ring, but let's put him in the conversation and actually put him above Duncan, Bill Russell, Shaq, Hakeem, David Robinson, who else they put him over? I mean, they put him over everyone. And I'm like, he's at the Garnett and Dirk level right now. He's a phenomenal player. He's a superstar. He's arguably the best in the league. And all of these guys have been there before. Dirk has been considered the best. So has Garnett. So has Shaq. So has Duncan. Right? But there's a separation. It's a reason why he only got 1 ring and only been to the finals once. There's a reason for that. Right? So his legacy isn't built on winning the way Tim Duncan's is, or the way Shaq's is, or the way Russell's is, or the way Kareem's is. Not even the way Hakeem's is, because Hakeem was so dominant. It's just so happened that he played in the same era as the GOAT. Came in the same draft with the GOAT. So you in the era with the GOAT, he gets 6 rings. He's dominating your era. And playing 12, 13 years that was it back then. You know, maybe some people go to 15, but very, very few superstars went to 20 years like Kareem. You know, they was getting in that 10, 13 years, get up out of there. You know, if I can't dominate these guys, it's time for me to go. I heard Michael Jordan say that before. That was the philosophy. Some guys' body failed them. You know, I mean, if you think about people who purposed in their brain, I'm going to play 82 games every season, and I'm going to play both ends of the floor every possession. Yeah, it's kind of hard to do that for 20 years. But if you can take a break on defense and your coaching staff is okay with it, and the sports media is okay with it, and the fans are okay with it, the whole NBA community is like, well, I mean, he's a superstar. He can't play defense, but forget about that. We just care about the stats. If you're in that era, then yeah, you can get away with not playing no defense for 20 years. But back then you couldn't. So you got to get your body up in more of a skin in the game way then than you do now. Right. So 82 games a season was the goal, and both ends of the floor was the expectation. That body ain't go hold up just as much as someone who's taking half the court to rest, or half, you know, you half the game you're resting on defense. And then also you're load managing and not playing, and you're playing about 60 games a year until the 65 game rule came in, but you're playing about 60 games, 62 games a year, and you're getting breaks on back-to-backs and all types of stuff. Like, you know, Michael Jordan at 40, coming off of knee surgery, still played 82 games. It's crazy. So if Jokic legacy is built on his triple-double stats and his triple-double numbers, it's not built on dominating by winning. It's meant by dominating by accumulating stats. And there's no competition for stats. There's only maybe 3 superstars that stat pad. And that's Luka, that's Jokic. It used to be LeBron, but Luka, Jokic. Who else played that play style? Harden don't play it no more. LeBron don't play it no more because obviously he on the team with Luka. Westbrook don't play it no more. Those were the guys that was doing it. It's got to be one more. I can't remember who it is, but for off the top of my head, Luka and Jokic are the only 2 superstars who stat pad and then take breaks on defense. They're the only 2, right? So there's no they're in competition with each other. It's a competition of 2. Like, imagine if Jordan, Hakeem, David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Barkley, all of them wanted to win. Magic Johnson, they wanted to win so bad. They were competing for their one trophy, which is the one you get after you win the finals. They're competing for their one trophy. They're all in competition for their one trophy. Now imagine if someone looked and said, I'm a superstar. I'm not really trying to compete for that trophy. You know, I do it 1 year because I need it for my legacy. If I don't win, then people go start to talk if I don't win. So I'll bust my butt 1 year to try to get that trophy. But now that I got it, now I'm not competing for the trophy like that for real. I'm competing for stats. Right? So imagine all the superstars are running one race for the trophy. And it's two superstars, Luka and Jokic, competing for the MVP by way of stats. No one's competing. If all the superstars decided to say, nah, I want to be in competition for stats and MVPs, forget the ring, then they all would just play triple-double basketball and just see who could get the highest triple-double. If you're going to average 28, 10, and 12, let me see if I can average 35, 12, and 12. And then we just all competing. We just changed the whole offense. Just imagine if Michael Jordan was like, I want a triple-double. I want to average a triple-double. And I want these MVPs every year. And just imagine him, hey, Phil, I can't get a triple-double in this triangle offense. We need to run a 5-man out, high screening roll with me having the ball. And I want everybody to get a shot off my assist. And, oh, by the way, I still got the green light as a scorer. Oh, and, oh, by the way, I'm going to rest on defense because if I'm doing the distributing on offense and the scoring, I'm going to wear out a little faster. So let me go ahead and on the defensive end, I guard the worst player, whoever it is, I don't care what position, and stand over in the corner, which would give me also a better opportunity to go and grab rebounds because I'm not the one on the ball trying to pressure it. I'm just standing back, watch the shot go up, and then I can just go and just grab the rebound. The triple-double is built in the offense. Just imagine if you changed your mindset and said, I want the offense to change to cater to me with the ball in my hand, running high screen and roll, spread offense, and I'm just spraying out the different shooters or pocket passes for the screen and roll or pick and pops or whatever the case may be, and then calling my own number whenever I want the bucket and I want to shoot 30 shots a game. You get what I'm saying? So I want you to take your mind and think that some superstars are playing and competing for one thing, and there's a couple of superstars that's competing for the MVP and competing for the best stats that they could get. But if they really wanted to go get their ring, they will play different. All right. So I said it all that, right? So the reason why I kind of laid that foundation is because if we know that the triple-double basketball is not necessary for Denver, and people who have foresight, who know basketball in and out, like I know with 5 people on the court, there are offenses you can run even if you're lacking certain talents. My favorite team, I'm from North Carolina, so all throughout my youth I rooted for the Tar Heels, and I never forget, we had a really good team and we was in a tournament, and somehow we got in a tournament and played Princeton, and that Princeton offense gave them fits. Princeton whooped their tail. I'll be like, how you lose to freaking Princeton? None of these dudes are going to the draft. They know they're not getting drafted. There's no NBA talent on there. There's no overseas talent on that team. Right? Just and I can't remember the old guy that was the coach, but he ended up being an assistant in, I think he was an assistant for the Wizards when Gilbert Arenas was there with Eddie Jordan as the head coach. And they ran a variation of the Princeton offense in Washington. And then I think the Sacramento Kings had some form of it as well. But they've run Princeton offense, but it's a beautiful offense. It's predicated on player movement, ball movement, off-ball movement and off-ball screens. Not a lot of dribbling. So they don't have the Ed Codas or the Jay Wills and all of the Gilbert Arenas. They don't have these 5-star talents that can, just bring the ball up and break people down and break the offense down. Everything was cutting, screens, and I ain't talking about on-ball screen and rolls. I'm talking about backdoors, slashes, cuts, all types of stuff, man. Just a beautiful offense. They bring this ball up court and they can get a shot without a dribble. That's how they played. They get the ball and everything was moving and operating like a well-oiled machine. People were setting screens, and you got to guard that because you don't know if somebody's gonna pop out for the three off the screen, or if they're gonna fake the pop out and then cut back door, and then it was just beautiful. That's what I used to like about Golden State. They used to do stuff like that, and Denver used to do that a lot. The year they won the championship, it was phenomenal basketball. But that's when Jokic was averaging about 6.5 assists. But once he started getting the praise for, oh man, is it possible that he can average a triple-double as a center? Then he started taking over more of the offense and more of the offense and more of the offense to where he got to 7.5 assists, then 8.5 assists, then 9.5 assists, and then he finally averaged a triple-double last year. Like, he crept up every year in assists, every single year. Like, he was purposely trying to get there. Like, he was focused on, I've got to get this in my on the record books of me averaging a triple-double, and the fact that I averaged almost a triple-double pretty much for the last 4 years is what been the foundation of his legacy and all his MVP races. He's almost averaging a triple-double. Like, it's deliberate. The offense is designed for him to do that. It's not designed to do that out of need or necessity, because we've always known you don't need all these great players to run good offense and get good team assists. You can get team assists just like the San Antonio Spurs did. You don't need someone to distribute for everyone. You don't need an offense where you only got 2 people distributing for everyone. And Tim Duncan and Greg Popovich and the Spurs offense, you don't know, like, you can't, like, we know Tony Parker was the point guard. We don't know how many assists Tony Parker averaged. We didn't care. All we knew is that the San Antonio Spurs everyone was dangerous when they got the ball, because everyone could make a play for themselves or others. Boris Diaw get in the game, he get the ball in the post. He was capable of going one-on-one if no double came. But if you start ball watching and somebody cut back door, he was capable of throwing that pass as well. Boris Diaw was a great passer. Tim Duncan, good passer. Ginobili, good passer. Tony Parker, good passer. Bellinelli, okay passer. Patty Mills, more of a scorer or a shooter. But in San Antonio, you're not getting on the floor if you can't make a play and pass. So you just can't expect him not to make. I mean, everyone was dangerous. Everyone can make a pass. And it's more dangerous for your team to have high assists than it is your best player to have high assists. And ever since Russell Westbrook, we've been, and I ain't gonna say Russell Westbrook, LeBron was doing a little bit as well, because he got a lot of praise when he was averaging 7 assists. Like, oh my God, that was the difference maker for his MVPs as well. Like, you might have Kobe averaging 35 points and 4 assists and 5 rebounds, but to see LeBron average 28 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists, just, Kobe averaging 4 assists, four assists more and 3 rebounds more, but less points and less wins. But the 3 rebounds and the 4 assists, that category right now, oh my God, it's almost a triple-double. It blows people's mind, and they just forget about everything. They forget about defense. They forget about scoring. They forget about winning. It's almost a triple-double. It's like sitting down playing spades with someone, and you throw the big joker out, which is winning. The big joker is always who won more. That's the big joker. The little joker is who scored more, because you need to score to win. And then the ace would be defense, or the deuce. The deuce is higher than ace. It depends on how you play spades. The deuce is defense. So if I got the big joker, which is more wins, I score more and better with little joker, and I play better defense, the deuce, how you beating me? It'll be people that'll come out here and say, well, listen, I got a triple double. I got 3 kings. I got a king of spades, a king of hearts, and a king of diamonds, which is I guess a triple double. I can beat your big joker, your little joker, and your deuce. That's how people think. Like they're having MVP discussions and who's better as a player discussion, and people are leading with triple double and not even mentioning defense or winning or scoring. Those are the 3 main things. In order to win, you have to score more than your opponent, and to score more than your opponent, you might want the best scorer on your team, who the best player, who's the best scorer. And then on top of that, you can score 1,000 points. If you give up 1,000 to 1, you lose. So defense is, you have to stop your opponent as well. So if your team is judged by if they win, how well they do scoring and how well they do defending, the same thing applies for player. Which player is the best? Well, which one leads their team to more wins? Which one is the better scorer? Which one is the better defender? But we're judging the entire basketball world by triple doubles. We're judging by triple doubles. And I'm like, how did that happen? Like, am I in la la land? Like triple doubles, that's we're basing it on triple doubles. And this is what happens, right? The math is wrong. Because if you have a equation, and when you have an equation, you pretty much get, you get one variable and and you get the answer, and then you got to figure out what the other variable is, right? If it don't add up, it don't add up. So one variable that we have a known variable is that a majority of the people think Jokic is the best player in the world right now, right? So let's say that's true. He's the best player. And then the answer is what I just said 10 minutes ago. The best player in the world in history has always led their team to 60 plus wins and led their team to multiple rings. So the constant variable is Jokic is the best player. The answer is multiple rings, 60 plus win seasons. You should be dominating like that. And then, the examples we got: Jordan, Tim Duncan, Hakeem, those guys, Kareem, Magic, Bird. So if Jokic is the best player now, when those players was the best player, they're dominated with rings. So now Jokic being the best player plus question mark equals domination with rings and all this stuff. We're trying to figure out, well, this question mark, something's not right with this question mark, because the answer is not, he don't have multiple rings and he don't have any 60 plus win seasons. Why is that? So they fill in that question mark with, oh, the only reason why he don't have that is because his team sucks. So they make up this new variable to help them feel better, because what really needs to happen when you plug in this variable and you realize the answer ain't right because he don't have multiple rings and 60 win seasons, then you don't come back and say, well, I did something in this equation wrong. You don't come back and say, well, maybe Jokic isn't the best in the world. That'd be the first thing I go check. Well, so, hey, something don't right. Like, hey, 2 + 2 supposed to equal 4 every single time. If for some reason it's equaling 3, then maybe this is not 2 over here. Maybe this is supposed to be a 1. So maybe we have to go over here and figure out, is Jokic really the best player in the world? Because the reason why he said he was the best is because of the triple doubles. We're saying he's the best because of triple doubles. Everybody else that we said was the best, when we watched them play, nobody could stop them, and then they couldn't stop them from winning multiple rings either. So why does the equation not not add up? What is wrong with the equation? You got to go back and check your work. And instead of them checking their work, they just try to fit a narrative in there and say, well, the team is trash. That's the only reason why he don't have 60-win seasons. And that's the only reason why he don't have multiple rings, because the team is trash. The players is trash. The co-star never made an all-star. The bench is trash. The Jokic on off minutes are jacked up. So they just blame everything around him, which is the same thing that LeBron fans did for him. It started from the almost triple-double stats. Like, oh my, we've never seen this. This dude is getting 25, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. I only think it was 8. I think it was 25, 7, and 7. Oh my God, we've never seen this. He's rebounding like 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Like, we've never seen this. Jordan and Kobe just went and got the points and let Pippen go get the assists. We've never seen someone just, hey, let me just do both. He's got to be great. He's Mike and Magic put together. Like, they miscalculated everything because the brain short circuits when they see triple doubles or anything close to it. The casual brain just short circuit. Right? Oh my God, I can't think no more. They see a triple double, almost a triple double. Everything about basketball that they once knew goes out of the window. So they started saying, well, shoot, LeBron is, almost a triple double, but then they couldn't figure out why he keep losing to freaking Boston. Hold on. If LeBron is the best player in the league and this triple double is so important and so fascinating, then how come Dwight Howard put him out? Why is Dwight's formula with Hedo Turkoglu better than Dwight's? Better than LeBron's. But like, why was it easier to build a team around Dwight than it was LeBron? It didn't take Orlando and Stan Van Gundy no time to build a team around Dwight. They just, Jameer Nelson, go on out there. You pretty good, Jameer Nelson. Go on out there, Jameer. Turkoglu, you didn't even start in Sacramento, right? Stojakovic started in Sacramento. Turkoglu couldn't even start in Sacramento. But hey, you can go run the offense for Dwight over there. Skip to Malou. You didn't make it to the league the first time, but we'll throw you on this Dwight squad because Jameer is hurt. Skip to Malou. You got next. You go run point. All right. JJ Redick was getting burned. How many teams he started for? Michael Petrie and Rashard Lewis. I give Rashard Lewis his props. If you come out of high school, you cold. But Darrell White came out of high school as well. So, you know what I mean? But that's the squad. It wasn't no monster squad. So why was Dwight's team more successful and able to beat LeBron if LeBron is supposed to be this god? You got to go back and recalculate something. Maybe he's not. Maybe those triple-double numbers don't mean what you think it means. Maybe it's just stats, and maybe it's stat padding. Maybe that's not the right way to play. If it can't work in the playoffs, it might not be the right way to play. Letting your best player do everything on offense and everyone else just be ready to catch and shoot or set screens. Maybe that's not the right way to play basketball. It's good for stats and numbers, but maybe it don't prepare your team or your best player or your teammates. Why so many losses in the finals if what LeBron does is so impactful? Why the need for a super team, multiple super teams, in order to get it done? Why so many sweeps in the finals? You got a team good enough to get to the finals, but you ain't got a team good enough to get 1 win, 2 wins. You got at least 2 at home. You got the best player 2 games at home and a team good enough to get to the finals, but you getting swept. So once he figured out, hey, my formula is trash. I got to add something to it. I got to add 2 more superstars that's on my level. 2. And then the third guy that just passed his prime, who happens to be the best shooter in the league, to come off my bench to help me get my first ring. Right? So if you got to do all of that to make that system work, Is it a good system? It's only good for your stats, really. And it's heavy lifting to actually get something done with it. And to get something done with it is so much heavy lifting that you can't come back and do it the next year. Unless you got a super team like LeBron. So we have to revisit whether we're going to keep talking about triple doubles like it means that we got to elevate the player that's getting a triple double when we know you have to design your offense to get triple doubles. You can't get triple doubles and average it with a real offense from a real head coach that's a Hall of Fame worthy coach. There's no Lenny Wilkins. There's no Pat Riley. There's no Phil Jackson. There's no Greg Popovich. There's nobody like that on the coaching level. There's not even Spoelstra, not even Ty. Well, Ty Lue had to do it for, a little bit. He had to do it with the Cavs with LeBron. But these coaches that are up here, the people who created the Princeton offense and all this, they knew it took 5 guys on the court being dangerous and being able to have some freedom within a structure. We still got a structure, but it's freedom inside of that structure. And we all know what that freedom is. Versus, hey, this one player, once he get the ball, he's just going to dictate everything. All y'all going to have to, do some cuts and some off-ball screens and some back doors and what he'll find you. Or just stand there and wait for a catch and shoot. Nobody's installing that offense and saying, this ought to get us at least 5 championships. Nobody's sitting down and saying, hey, man, just let the best player have the ball and get all the assists, and everyone else just let's just find 4 shooters to put around him and stand at the 3-point line and catch and shoot, and that's our offense, with our best player. When he goes sit down on the bench, though, I don't know what we're going to do. But this should work for 5 championships. No, that's a smart coach is not doing it. What they're doing is saying, well, this is how he wants to play, and it's helping him get numbers, and it's helping us put butts in seats, and it's helping us stay inside the algorithm. We're always getting talked about. My players always getting talked about. We want them to get MVPs. It's a business model. We didn't put this business model together to accomplish multiple rings like the Spurs. We put this together to highlight our best player as much as possible. And that's what Denver is doing with triple-double basketball and Jokic. Right. So let's do this. The thumbnail says that these role players are kind of fed up with the whole narrative. After the first game that they won, when Jokic went down, they beat Toronto. They interviewed Peyton Watson. It was interesting.
Did you see the quote from Peyton Watson after that Raptors win?
I feel like there's a lot of people that doubt us. And there's a lot of people that'll say, without Joker, we're a lottery team. And even if we win, they're going to say it's one lucky win. So we just happy with what we do. We go back to the drawing board. We keep getting better, and we keep trying to find ways to get wins.
I've read all of those statements in the last 5 minutes in our chat right now.
First off, no lies told. That's exactly what people are saying. The Nuggets do seem like a lottery team without Joker, even if they win one game. You could even call that Raptors win a lucky win, considering they were 0.1 away from that game going to overtime where I think they probably would have lost. That quote actually shows me that this team is a little fired up and they have a big chip on their shoulder. And I remember talking, to the guys in the locker room over the last couple of years, guys coming off the bench, and they all had a chip on their shoulder because they heard the noise. They know the narrative about when Jokic goes off the floor, the Nuggets suck. They're the best team in the world. When he's playing, they're the worst team in the world. The bench is on the court. The Nuggets second unit was pissed off about that narrative over the last couple of years. It was true, but they were pissed off about it. And I love that Peyton Watson said that. And that tells me that him, Jamal Murray, Bruce, who was here over the last 2 years, I love that they have this chip on their shoulder and they're a little pissed.
So Peyton Watson, first, they only got one win. It ain't like they won like 6 straight or nothing like that. That was one win. They pulled it out against a playoff team from the East. They was on the East, and this is on the road. They was on the East road trip, right? They beat Toronto, and the first thing he said during the post-game interview is pretty much, I'm tired of hearing all this stuff from the fans. They don't have a problem with Jokic. They're teammates. They're in the locker room. I think Jokic is tired of hearing people say that his team is trash and can't do nothing without him either. It divides the team in the locker room. Because now, no, y'all got me fucked up. Y'all about to make me start hating this dude. You get what I'm saying? That can happen. I could be on a team with somebody and we could be cool. We good teammates. We could even be friends. If I start hearing the entire crowd, the entire Denver Nuggets fan base on top of the basketball community start saying that, hey, man, we suck. The bench suck. The role players suck. The co-star suck. Everything is their fault every time they lose. Jokic spoon feed them for all their points. None of them can get any shots by themselves. None of them can create offense. Like, these are the things they're saying. And these people, that was a local Denver Nuggets radio station or podcast, said, man, all these narratives that P. Watt said at the post game, we've read and heard all of them. Like, they're in our comment section. Like, if you go to any Nuggets podcast or whatever and read the comments, or you make a Nuggets or Jokic video like I'm doing today and read the comments, that's what the fans are saying. And it's not just the fans. They say this in the media. The media ain't even smart enough to see through triple-double basketball and to understand that these dudes got talent. Like, you should be able to watch these dudes playing, but oh, no, he got something. But they're being they're coaching it out of them. We just talked about yesterday about Kuminga. Steve Kerr don't want Kuminga to do anything on the creation side. That's not your job. He gets benched for trying to create and do too much. So did Michael Porter Jr. when he was playing under Coach Malone his first couple of years. Shoot these threes. That's all we want you to do. You can't do nothing else. I have a system, and we're going to run that system and trust that system. Don't try to do anything outside of that system. So people will watch that and be like, oh, yeah, Peyton Watson can't even dribble. Like, I've heard people say there's no ball handlers. When I used to talk about the WNBA and Caitlin Clark plays triple-double basketball as well, I was like, dude, she don't have to do that. She's doing that for the assist. If she want to win, she needs to not do that. Pick one. Do you want to be a pure point guard to get the assist, or do you want to jack up threes all day long and score? Like, you just micromanaging the offense and want the ball in your hand and want to do whatever you want to do, and everyone else has to play off of you. And then as a result, the fans and the media say she's doing that because she has to, because nobody else can do anything. And I'm like, have you seen Mitchell play? She's the best player on the team. Have you seen Boston in the post? Like, they can do tons of things. And when she got hurt, which is crazy that she got hurt and had to sit out a whole bunch of games the same way Jokic did this year, and then you get to see it with your own eyes. And the Fever fans, and I ain't gonna say Fever fans, the Caitlin Clark fans was in denial, just like the Jokic fans are in denial. Every game the Fever won, they ain't play nobody. They didn't sell out no tickets though. I saw empty seats. I'm like, dude, that's not the point. Is we were trying to prove to y'all that she don't have to play like that. It's a better way to play if you want to win. But if you want stats and attention and you want to micromanage the offense, then keep doing that. But the Fever almost got all the way to the finals without Caitlin Clark. And I guarantee you that when Caitlin Clark comes back healthy, they're going right back to triple-double basketball. And for that reason, she's not going to be able to keep Mitchell that long, because she was contemplating leaving. She was a free agent last summer. She was contemplating leaving. They talked her into staying. They paid her, I think, fairly, and she stayed. But after what she just did, leading them to the daggone conference finals and was one game away from getting to the finals, they almost beat the champions. Vegas went and ran through the finals. They almost beat that team without Caitlin Clark. And the Caitlin Clark fans were still saying that they ain't no good. And they're still going to vouch for triple-double basketball when she comes back. And I'm like, dude, if you know you don't have to run it like that, like imagine the offense that they was running without Caitlin Clark. If they continue to run that offense and then you add Caitlin Clark scoring, then you should be better. So think about Jokic without running triple-double basketball, but he comes back with his 30 points. Because they was averaging 29 assists with Jokic. Right now, without Jokic, they're averaging about 25 assists. So their assists went down 4. But they're still winning, and their defense is probably a little bit better as well. Imagine just adding Jokic and his points, and of course, he's going to, without even trying to run point center or point forward like he does, and if he just played like Tim Duncan and played the post and let the offense run the way it's running now, and he get the ball in the post every now and then, and he just concentrate on playing defense. Imagine if they ran that and just add Jokic's unstoppable, you got to double me every time I touch the ball near the paint. He's still going to get 5 assists a game. He's not going to get 10, but he's easily going to get 5 just passing out of double teams. But the team will be that much better for it. So it tells me if you have a formula without Jokic that could work, if you use that same formula and you just add Jokic, then it should work better. If they go back to triple-double basketball, that's going to tell you everything you need to know. Right? This is Michael Porter Jr. because we already talked about it. So you heard P. Watt. He's tired of the narrative. We can't do nothing without Jokic. He's tired of it. Heard it all before, sick and tired of it. Michael Porter Jr., when he beat the Nuggets, when they interviewed him and it was like, pretty much, man, they could have done that. He basically was saying they could have done more with me. Only thing they used me for is a shooter. And I gave them 18 points a game just by catching shoots. They used me like Kyle Korver, and I gave them 18 points a game as Kyle Korver. Now I get to go to Brooklyn and be Michael Porter Jr. I'm an all-star, and I'm averaging 26. I get to be Michael Porter Jr. Now I'm an all-star. You can't be Michael Porter Jr. in the offense that they run this triple-double basketball with Jokic. You have to be a shooter. You have to be Kyle Korver. That's all you can be is Kyle Korver. Did Kyle Korver ever get ISOs? Did he ever get the ball in his hand to take somebody one-on-one? Did he ever get post-ups? No. Kyle Korver catch and shoot, space the floor, stand in the corner. And people had the nerve to say that that's all Michael Porter Jr. was capable of. I was like, it was people on Gil's Arena saying that that's Michael Porter Jr. All he could do is this. I was like, man, y'all pros. Y'all can't see how good this dude is? Did y'all not see him in high school and in college? Like, he's a prodigy. He just hurt his back. Like, he's what KD is. He's a unicorn player, just with a bad back now. He's special. He played on the high school team with Trae Young. Trae Young was an afterthought. So, I mean, like, how people are not seeing it, if I can see it as a spectator of the sport. I'm not even in the league like that. You get what I'm saying? I can see that from afar. I'm confused on how people are confused. I just don't get it, right? So Michael Porter Jr. gonna be a first-time All-Star this year. Jamal Murray about to be a first-time All-Star this year and an All-NBA player. And if outside of SGA, he's the best player at his position right now. You can't name another point guard that's outplaying Jamal Murray. Not even Luka with his 30 point, 34 points. No, he's not outplaying Jamal Murray at all. Jamal Murray, when Jokic went down, this team was in third place. They're in second place in the West now. So what Jamal Murray is doing is translating to helping his team more than what Luka is doing. So outside of SGA, nobody's at the point guard position. Nobody's outplaying Jamal Murray. Maybe Cade. I'm sorry, Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham is second. Jamal is third at the position, at the point guard position. Right. So you got 2 All-Stars out of this deal. You remove Jokic from Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. becomes Michael Porter Jr. instead of Kyle Korver. He makes All-Star his first time being Michael Porter Jr. Jamal Murray started the season out very well with Jokic on the team. Jokic goes down. He elevates his game. He was already getting not MVP, but all-star consideration when Jokic was on the roster. But it was still, it could go it could go either way because you still got to think about this in the West. You got SGA, he's gonna be a lock, fan vote. Luka, fan vote, he's a lock. Ant-Man, maybe a lock. He might get in with the fan vote. I got to double check. But as far as guard, I know they're not doing it by position, but people's brain is still going to think like that. This is the second year without doing position. So people, because I just wrote mine down and I was thinking position as well, even though I know we're not doing it by position. But you got to think about this. If SGA, Jokic, Luka, and Ant-Man are locks, and some people think Steph is a lock. That's 5. That's the starting 5 getting the fan vote. You got 5 in there, that's a lock. Then we got to think about, is LeBron going to get some type of help getting a vote in there? Would somebody feel bad for Austin Reeves as a guard? Would he get in there? You got KD, you got Avia in Portland. You got Kawhi, you got Devin Booker. You got a lot of people. If it was close, Jamal Murray probably could have got snubbed. You still got Wemby, Sengun. Like Jamal Murray could get snubbed if it was up to what the body of work he did while he was playing with Jokic. When Jokic went down, now Jamal Murray gets to be a number 1. It's almost a guarantee. And I got Jamal Murray. I voted for him as a starter. I know he's not going to get that much votes to be a starter, but I had him over Steph. I voted him as a starter. I didn't vote Steph as a starter. I really didn't. That's how good he's been playing without. So he's a lock for All-Star without Jokic. Now, instead of just getting All-Star consideration, he's getting all NBA consideration. So now that lineup of Ant-Man, Luka, SGA, Steph, these people that was a lock for first team all NBA, now Murray's in that discussion. He's going to get at least first, second, or third team for sure. So not only is he a lock for All-Star, he's getting consideration for all NBA now without Jokic. Here's the kicker. I just seen NBA MVP polls come out. I don't go past the top 3 unless it's that type of year where I can go to 5. Right now, I still got SGA, Jokic, and Cade Cunningham 1, 2, and 3. The more time Jokic missed, the more opportunity for Cade to jump into that number 2 slot, and Jokic would be in the 3. But for the first time, there's an MVP poll or ladder that has come out 1 through 10. And guess who at number 10? Jamal Murray. So not as only is Jamal Murray a lock for All-Star, he's getting MVP consideration and he's getting all NBA consideration. This is what happens without someone hogging the stats and hogging the offense and hijacking it for his numbers. We get to see a lot of talent that people didn't know was out there, right? So yeah, MPJ got better, Murray got better, and Peyton Watson got better. Actually, everybody got better. Let's just throw this on screen. This is the supporting cast for the Denver Nuggets before and after numbers of the Jokic injury. And you see Murray, they're only doing points, but you know, he had a career high 16 assists and then a back-to-back game of 16 plus assists, which haven't been done since Andre Miller did 16 plus 2 straight games. So he had 16 and 17 back-to-back. Both was career highs at the time, right? His assist has jumped up from 7 to, I think he's averaging since the injury of Jokic, she's averaging 10 assists. So the 10 assists that Jokic was getting is now going to Murray, which is crazy because I always talk about foresight. We can go back to some of my lives about the Nuggets, and I told them there's a better way you can run this offense where it works better for everyone and the team will be better for it, right? Running the offense this way, if you add Jokic and everyone's healthy, this is a very dangerous team. They will be more dangerous to OKC Thunder than they were even last year. Very dangerous team. I'm only saying what I think would help the Denver Nuggets. The people who come in the comment section to speak against what I'm saying is only saying what's going to help Nikola Jokic's narrative. So I'm arguing to help the Denver Nuggets be better, and the Nikola Jokic fans are trying to combat that so they can keep the narrative that Jokic is playing with bombs, so that narrative could help him get more MVPs. So he's averaging the 10 assists, and I said this. I said if Murray is more than capable of doing what Tony Parker did for the Spurs, he can handle that offense. Nikola Jokic can take his hands off of it. He don't need to do it. He's a great passer, but there's a lot of great passers who didn't run point guard for their team. Vlade Divac was a great passer, but Jason Williams and Mike Bibby was still the point guard, and they ran the offense. Chris Webber was a great passer. He still had point guards that ran the offense. Sabonis was a great passer. They still let Damon Stoudemire and Greg Anthony run the offense in Portland. Just because you're a great passer, you're still a center. Just because you're a great passer don't mean I'm going to let you share. They're not even sharing the point guard duties. It used to be probably Murray 70-30 on the Murray side. And then every year it got closer and closer to 50-50 until it got to the point where now it's 70-30 going to Jokic way. Jokic is bringing the ball up and running fast breaks and initiating offense a little bit more than what Murray is doing. And I think that's a travesty, man, because now it's almost like when Westbrook came down and took rebounds from Adams so he can get triple doubles. And Adams is his sole purpose on the floor is to block shots and rebound. And that's how I get paid, and that's how I feed my family. And you come down here and take rebounds for me for your triple doubles. So now when my agent go and negotiate contracts, and I only average 7 rebounds, and it's like, man, you 7 foot, and we pay you to rebound, and you only averaging 7. And then you're not gonna get no all-star votes. Jamal Murray is a point guard who can't even run his own offense exclusively. And he's getting the assist is going to his center. And Jamal Murray, that's how he get paid. Think about the type of max contract he could have got if he was an all-star. But you can't be an all-star because, I mean, look, man, you can't even run the offense for your team and get assists. How you go outperform Luka, Steph Curry, De'Aaron Fox, SGA, all those point guards that was in the West, and Dame was in the West as well. How's Murray going to make all-star and outperform Dame, Lillard, Fox, Steph, SGA, Luka? How do you outperform those guys in the West if you can't even run the offense? Like, you're not even the number one. Jokic is the number one. Steph is the number one for his team. Luka the number one for his team. Dame was the number one for his team. And when Fox was in Sacramento, he was the number one for his team too. And definitely SGA is the number one for his team. So how does Murray in the same position and in the same conference outperform number ones if he can't even run point exclusively? But look at the jump for all these players. We talked about Murray's assists went up. He's averaging 10 since the injury. Points went up 2 more points, 3 more points. So he was already averaging 25. Now he's averaging 28. Watson, 14-point jump. Hardaway, 4-point jump. Pickett, an 8-point, almost 9-point jump. And Najee, an 8-point jump, almost 9-point jump. Those are huge jumps. Now, I understand Najee wasn't getting minutes and Pickett wasn't getting minutes as well, but Watson, Hardaway, and Murray was getting minutes. We knew what Hardaway could do. He's a shooter. So I'm not even go glaze that. I'm not gonna glaze Pickett and Najee because they just got more opportunity right now. So I mean, it is a major jump to jump up 8 points. You got to get them props for that. But I really want to get on Peyton Watson because Peyton Watson is the guy that they claim couldn't do anything. And that can't be further from the truth. I'm gonna show y'all something. I'm gonna show y'all Peyton Watson. And y'all tell me, let me get this off screen. Y'all tell me if this looks like a player that can't do nothing. The first play that's a play. Jamal Murray got the ball. He used a high screening roll. It looked like a 3-1 screen that Peyton's going to slip, and Jamal Murray's going to give him the ball right at the free throw line. He's going to make a play. But let's say Jamal Murray made that play for him. All the plays after that was giving Peyton Watson the ball and letting him make the play on his own. Right? So you see Jamal. We'll give Jamal credit for making that play for him. But this one dribble pull up, that's all him. 3 dribble to the mid range. ISO situation to the mid range. Bringing the ball up coast to coast all the way to the cup and one. Another ISO, 2 dribble all the way to the cup. Bring the ball up. Use a screen. Dribble pull up. Catch and shoot. Slashing and making a play. Another ISO situation. 2 dribble to the cup. Defense. Cookies. The cookie monster. Bringing the ball up. Use a screen. Pass it to a shooter. Got it in the post. Pass it to a shooter. This is, come on, dog. A block. Two dribble spin. That was clutch. That was in the fourth quarter. That gave them the lead with like 20 seconds left. Right? So we see him making plays, and people didn't know he could do that. Why? It's not like that Jokic got hurt and then Peyton Watson was like, man, I don't know how I'm going to make these plays. I've never done it before. And all of a sudden, he just playing out of his body. No, he's always had this ability. You just couldn't see it. Michael Porter Jr. has always had the ability, what he's showing in Brooklyn. We just couldn't see it. And it's not that they just broke out this year. This happened overnight. If you let the Jokic Glazers tell it, it happened overnight. Jokic got hurt, and Peyton Watson couldn't have done this last year. He just had a maturation year this year. He broke out this year. Michael Porter Jr. just broke out. Neither one of these players could have done this last year. They just got better this year because they don't want to lose the narrative that they created that Jokic has always been playing with bombs, and that's the only reason why he don't have multiple rings. They got to make up something to explain why all the people we're comparing him to got multiple rings, but he can't even get back to the finals. And instead of admitting that the offense is flawed and the defense for Jokic is non-existent and is a problem, they'd rather say, no, Jokic is perfect. If something goes wrong, it has to be what's around him. It has to be the players. And they've blamed every player. How can every player be the issue? Jamal Murray, the co-star, is the issue. Michael Porter Jr. is the issue. Oh, they're not consistent. They don't show up for the big games. The bench is trash. On-off minute. Like, they got all these excuses. I'm like, dude, how can everything be the problem? And then how can every issue that's that excuse that we use for Jokic is the same excuses they use for Caitlin Clark, LeBron, Harden, Westbrook, and Luka. Like, it's impossible for all of those people to play the same style triple-double offense. Slightly different for Jokic, since he's a big and he's not as ball dominant as the other wing players are, because they always got the ball. Jokic does it as well, but he kind of, got to come off it a little bit because he goes in the post to get most of his points. He's not blowing by nobody, right? So it's slightly different for him, but for the most part, they all play triple-double basketball. They all rest on defense. They all chase the stats in the triple-doubles and the MVPs. It's impossible for all of those to play the same exact way and have the same exact excuses why it don't work. LeBron is notorious. LeBron fans is notorious for saying his teammates has been trash. He carried bombs to the final. Now that they're using the same LeBron argument for Jokic. Luka, when he was in Dallas, oh man, did you see the team he carried to the finals? They were bombs. Luka has to do all this. It's the same. Caitlin Clark. Oh, the Fever are bombs. Caitlin has to do all this, and not so much for Westbrook and Harden. They wasn't using it there for them because they was trying to figure out ways not to give Westbrook and Harden MVPs. That's the difference between Westbrook and Harden. Once they got their one MVP, they was like, we're not going to let y'all keep spamming MVPs by getting these triple-double numbers. So they came up and was like, oh, man, Harden can't get it done in the playoffs. So his formula don't work. Plus, he don't play defense. He's too ball dominant. And that's how they undermine his MVP candidacy by which it was true. Westbrook, oh man, you're stat padding. We got video of you stealing rebounds for Steven Adams. We're not about to reward you for stat padding. So they came up with narratives to not give Westbrook and Harden, because Westbrook done average a triple-double 4 times. If it's so special, why he only got one MVP? If it's so special. So we know the triple-double is whack. The way they design it in their offense. We know it's been whack since Harden and Westbrook. But now that Jokic and Luka is doing it, now it's back on. If bell bottoms without a style, when I could afford them. Now that I got when I couldn't afford bell bottoms, they was in style. But now that I got money, I can afford bell bottoms. I want to wear some bell bottoms, but they're out of style now. That's how Westbrook and Harden feeling right now. That ain't a triple double. It wasn't sexy when I was doing it, but now it's sexy again. I can't even fit them bell bottoms no more. How pissed off you think I am? Y'all waited till I got hips to bring bell bottoms back. Now I can't wear none. But now we about to say, oh man, this junk look good on Jokic and Luka and Caitlin Clark. Phenomenal. Look at those bell bottoms. Oh, the look. Oh, stunning. Chic. It's tea. But let Westbrook and Harden go get a triple-double, put them bell bottoms on. Stat pattern. Ball dominant. No defense. You feel me? So, yeah. Let's get into some more.
Scout the Pelicans for tomorrow.
This is Michael Porter Jr. also talking about he always knew that P. Watt and Pickett and Najee could play. He always knew it.
How much of an adjustment has it been? I mean, we saw what you did against the Nuggets. Brooklyn beat the Nuggets through the season. For you, are you adjusted personally?
Yeah, it's still an adjustment. I mean, I've only been in New York for a few months, but it's part of the NBA, and I'm enjoying it's part of my journey. But a lot of memories with this group, this Nuggets group, but it's good to see so many guys thrive. Pickett, P. Watt, see Hunter out there, see Zeke out there. These are guys I spend so much time with. I love, seeing them do their thing.
Yeah, I was going to ask you in practice. You practiced against the likes of Zeke, Najee. You practiced against Pickett. Did you know that they had this in them?
Yeah, I saw it a lot. I saw Zeke, how much he worked in the offseason in LA. We spent some time working out together. I would shoot a lot with Hunter. Pick, I knew he would do his thing. So as unfortunate as the injuries were with, CB and Joker, I think in the long run for this group, it might be good to give some of these other guys some confidence. It really shows how deep the group is. So it's really cool to see those guys get their opportunity.
Now that was playing New Orleans. He was courtside watching his old buddies play because they had to play. Brooklyn had to play New Orleans the next night, so they came and did a in-game interview. Did you know that they had this in them? Like, we didn't know it. We didn't know Peyton Watson can make those plays like that and can shoot and dribble and all this stuff. We didn't know that. We had no clue. Did you know it? He was like, yeah, I knew they could go. But now I'm being political. I'm not gonna go off the deep end. Yeah, man. Now that they, some injuries, it was unfortunate, but now we get to see that these dudes can actually play, and now everyone can see how deep this team really is. The team always been deep. They just not using them right. They're only using two players, Jokic and Murray, and his Jokic system. So he's gonna be the most comfortable in that system. Everything operates off of him. When I move, you move, just like that. When they're playing, Simon Says, Jokic is in control. Jokic says, clap your hands. Jokic says, touch your nose. Or all of that crazy stuff. Is Jokic doing that? So of course he's going to look like the orchestrator, and everybody else going to look like we're reacting off him. But this is the system. We can't move until Jokic move. We got to go where Jokic say. Like everything is Jokic. And it don't have to be like that. They're doing it for stats and MVPs. Right? So there's also a narrative out there that, oh no, Pete Watson he ain't cold like that. He developed. Man, I love the internet. This is during the game. They talking about the relationship that P. White got with KD and how they talk on the regular, and how KD first met him when he was 16 years old, and he looked at him and was like, this dude's special.
We talked about the veterans that he played with, but there's some other veterans that he admired and had a big impact with. More on that. Let's go to Vanessa.
Yeah, Peyton grew up looking up to Kevin Durant. Watson said it was him that helped him see that he could be skinny and still be a killer with that body type and that frame. When Watson was 16, KD saw him play. KD was impressed, invited him to play pickup in the summer. Watson told us it was an absolute dream come true. And since then, Kevin has become a true mentor for Peyton. Peyton says he is an amazing guy. He is so encouraging. Even during the season, he'll text me singing my praises. For him to keep up with me goes to show that Kevin doesn't have an ego, and he's happy to see everybody succeed. Mike.
Well, the phrase he used, and you've heard this.
So that's Kevin Durant saying that I seen this dude play when he was 16 and was like, oh no, he's special. At 16, he's special, right? But let's take it a step further with PG-13 on his podcast, the year that Peyton Watson, before he ever played one game for the Denver Nuggets. This is after he got drafted. He was playing at the UCLA run. PG-13 was there, and he's describing what a young kid that he just met that is going to be a problem in the NBA. And he described everything he could do and gave him a player comp.
Another sleeper for you. I had a chance to play against this kid this summer. I'm working out against him, and I didn't know who he was, but he's competing and he's talking, he's trash talking, and he's backing it up. Like he's showing well in the gym. And come to find out, it's Peyton Watson.
What position?
20-year-old, he's small forward, young cat, but he's gonna be good.
What you compare him to?
He's kind of got like a Brandon Ingram game, long wing. He's got that slow pace game. He's long, he's tall, he shoot over you, can handle it, 3-point shot. I think he's gonna be a stud, but he's got to wait his time. He's gonna be really good when he gets his opportunity. Just remember that name.
Peyton Watson. Y'all heard the name, don't sleep on it. You just been rated PG, baby.
He said this before he even played a game, just from a run at UCLA when he was 20 years old after he got drafted. This dude gonna be special. He said, who he remind you of, man? Brandon Ingram. He remind me of Brandon Ingram, man. He kind of, he said he can handle it. He can shoot it. He can shoot over you. He can dribble. Long, wiry. He described what we're seeing right now. So when someone comes and tell you, oh, no, he didn't have this in his game, this is something new, they probably will try to credit Jokic and be like, he developed them, because we seen Jokic on the sideline in street clothes coaching the team up. Somebody tried to get, when they first started winning games, the Jokic fans still tried to give credit to Jokic for that. But no. And they did the same thing with Caitlin Clark too. if you go watch these Caitlin Clark channels when the Fever was on a run, instead of just saying, yeah, y'all right, we was wrong. This team do got good players and they can survive without Caitlin Clark and they don't need to play triple-double basketball. Instead of saying that, like a normal person, you know, because I like being wrong. If I say something and you know, I go full in on the truth on what I say, especially if it's about a good player, I want to be wrong. So I have no problem coming back and be like, yeah, I was wrong, and he proved me wrong. Like I like being wrong. I'm not gonna try to move the goalpost to protect a take. I'm not in love with my takes. I'm in love with basketball and seeing it played the right way. That's what I'm in love with. So when I don't see it played the right way, I'll call it out. But if you play the wrong way and make it work, I got to shut up and say, well, y'all, you proved me wrong. You can make it work playing the wrong way. Kudos to you. But I got to call it out. I got to see it play. I mean, it's just like if the person who created chess, and then let's say they can come out of the grave and watch somebody play chess and they got the pieces lined up all wrong. The king can do as much as the queen. The pawns can move backwards. Like, that's not how you play it. Like I'm pissed off that you're playing it this way. That's not how I created the game. And the game of basketball wasn't created for one guy to try to set up and make plays for 4 other guys while they don't use none of the skill sets that they got. You got 5 guys on the court. If I could figure out a way to use more of their skill sets in a variety of ways, we're more dangerous to the team. But if I'm only using Jokic and Murray's skill set, and then the other 3 guys, the only skill set you can use is catch and shoot threes, you're not maximizing the potential of the team. You're maximizing the potential of your best player by way of getting him all the stats. So they tried to give Caitlin Clark credit for coaching the Fever on the bench when they was on the win streak, and they did the same thing with Denver. How come everything that happens with one of these guys that play triple-double basketball keep happening to all of them? It's because it's the same fans that think that way that are trying to keep these narratives going. Like, they literally the same exact stuff they're saying about Caitlin Clark, they're saying about Jokic. I mean, it's like you could just take the name off and read certain comments and you don't know if it's Caitlin or Jokic or LeBron. It's the same, or Luka. It's the same thing. It's okay they don't play defense. They do so much on offense. The team sucks. They need him to do that. They need her to do that. Has to do that. You know, just all these things that, you know, like it's like the Twilight Zone, dog. It's like the Twilight Zone. I can't believe I got to teach grown people this. So you heard KD, he knew it. He knew what Peyton Watson was. Michael Porter Jr. said he knew what Peyton Watson was. And Paul George said he knew what Peyton Watson was. So why is it that Denver didn't know what Peyton Watson was and was like, yeah, you just got to catch and shoot? I mean, they made Westbrook a corner boy and was like, you're going to have to catch and shoot in this offense. You can't figure out a way to use a Hall of Famer other than catch and shoot? That's a flawed offense, my brother. That's a flawed offense. All right, I'm about to open the phone lines up because I've talked enough. The phone number is scrolling on the bottom of the screen. I invite anyone to call and have this conversation with me. Preferably someone that disagrees with me. I would prefer that. The fake Peyton Watson said Michael Malone was disgusted hearing me doing well. You supposed to be getting don't y'all got a game today? You supposed to be getting taped up or warming up right now. If as long as Watson plays defense, it would be an easy decision. They're gonna have to figure out if they go sign him or not. They're gonna have to figure out if they go sign him or not, because he's playing himself into a huge contract. He's playing himself into a huge contract. Caller, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, what's up? What's your thoughts?
Hey, what's going on, man? Dan, thanks for having me on.
No problem.
Yeah, I'm really, well, I just, I kind of do want to push back. I was saying it in the comments that, you know, in every job and any organization, you got to wait your turn.
Right.
You know, and that's just you know, and especially in the NBA, that applies in the NBA more than probably anywhere else, except if you're like a top 10 pick. The man's the 30th pick, though. You got to wait your turn. There's veterans on this team. There's people that demand the ball on this team. He got to wait his turn. You can't just anoint a kid because he's on a streak. I mean, this has happened a lot.
All right, so
you know, in the league,
with that thought process, because the only reason why we're having this conversation is because Denver is insisting on running a flawed offense. Now, you might disagree that offense is flawed, but my foresight says that it's flawed, and the results say that it's flawed. Because if you got the best player in the world and he's still in his prime and he was healthy, and the team that he won a championship with him came back pretty much intact. They really only lost Bruce Brown and Caldwell. They lost Bruce Brown the first year. The next year they lost Caldwell Pope. But you still get Murray, Porter Jr., and Gordon with Jokic. You keep the core guys. That's all you can ask for. If I tell you that the revolving pieces around Ginobili, Duncan, and Parker are interchangeable, but we keep Ginobili, Duncan, and Parker, you should be able to get back to the finals, correct?
That's not guaranteed.
Well, no, it's not. No. Hold on. You're right. So nothing's guaranteed. If I tell you we get to keep Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman, you get a three-peat. But the revolving pieces, like they brought in Bison Dele 1 year, they brought in John Sally 1 year. 1 year they brought in Robert Parrish. Like the pieces around them is changing, but they keep the core together. So
right, but those same pieces that you're talking about could also be interchangeable too. You can also change those guys out.
Yeah, sure.
So that's not. So we can do this all day.
No, sure. But the
prime thing is here that we're talking about.
Listen. What's your name? What's your name, sir?
Oh, my name's Mike.
All right, Mike. Allow me to land the plane though, because what I'm trying to say is, Denver kept their core pieces. You got the best player in the world. You got his core pieces with him. Why did the championship team fail to at least get back to the finals? And my estimation is because this flawed offense, it was a miracle that it worked for the first ring. You're not going to get lightning strike twice. That's why Giannis and the Bucks didn't go back.
Okay,
right.
Let's go back to what I was saying before. This goes with the progression and people having to wait their turn. Again, Michael Porter Jr. didn't have the kind of green light he has now. He didn't have it even on that championship team.
Right, but
he got older. He wanted more of a role on that team.
Yeah, but listen,
correct?
But listen, he has skills that never got utilized in a Denver jersey. That is a blasphemous occurrence for someone to have that amount of skill and you don't even use it. You only use his catch and shoot ability. He didn't get the ball in the post. He didn't get an ISO. He got barely nothing but catch and shoots. And they was doing the same thing to Peyton Watson as well. That's the formula. It's always going to be an odd man out. It's always going to be.
I don't think his progression was at that point at that time. I wouldn't trust Michael Porter Jr. in the post at that time.
Of course you would say that. Yeah, of course you would say that. Of course,
I mean, honestly, would you trust him in the post at that time?
But of course, you would say that. But when you put everything into the formula and you realize, okay, the first year he leaves and goes to Brooklyn, we get to see most of his games. So did he have this game last year?
He was probably working on it. But he's a young guy. That's how it is when you're a young player.
Wait. So did Michael Porter Jr. have this? He in his 7th year, or he in his 8th year right now? Did he have this in his, what we're seeing in Brooklyn, did he have it in his repertoire last year?
No, I would say no. He doesn't.
Right. And I'm not going to argue with you on that. I will let you believe that. But that's the logic of people who's trying to continue a narrative that is being proven wrong. right? So
if that was the case, then he would have been proving that in practice. He would have been doing it in games. He would have made it undeniable. He would have made it undeniable, just like everybody else in the league that's an all-star.
The coach said that he was doing that in practice. He said that we have a two-man system in this offense, and it won us a ring, so we go with our two-man system. They're purposely not using these people the way they can be used. That's the point I'm trying to make. They don't have to play that way. Like, I mean, how ready and developed was Tony Parker when Greg Popovich threw him out there and said, "Figure it out"?
Yeah, but Tony Parker was already playing in Euro leagues.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
So he was already playing. He was playing with grown men already.
No, but he wasn't ready, brother. He couldn't even shoot the jump shot. He was not ready,
so,
brother.
Correct, but he had to. But he developed the mid range. Correct, but
Popovich,
he was playing with grown men over there.
Popovich threw him out there and said, "Sink or swim." Rondo, how ready was him when the big three got together in Boston? Doc Rivers said, "Hey, we're gonna put it on you," because Garnett was like, "Man, we don't even know
everybody. You can't do that. You can't do that with everybody.
No. Yes, you
can. You can't do that with everybody.
It's basketball. It's basketball. Sink or swim.
Some people just sink.
Sink or swim.
They don't. They don't. They don't tread water. They just sink. And Michael Porter Jr. came from luxury. It's not like he came from a place where man came from luxury for real.
So let's do this. So let's say that you're right.
They're going to coddle the young dude.
Let's do this. Michael Porter Jr. was not ready for the first 7 years in the league, but the first year he leaves Brooklyn, miraculously he's ready, and we're able to see a finished product. Okay, so he wasn't good.
Let's really count that first 7 years, right?
Hold on. Let me finish saying this because I don't want to mute you. I'll put you on mute, or I might just hang it up and let you listen from the comment section. You can't cut me off while I'm trying to land a plane. So gotcha. Let's say Michael Porter Jr. wasn't ready for 7 years. The first year he leave, he's ready. Okay, cool. That's Michael Porter Jr. Now, let's say Peyton Watson wasn't ready his first 3 years, but as soon as Jokic get hurt, now Peyton Watson is all of a sudden ready, correct? All right, let's say Murray wasn't ready, and then all of a sudden this year he's ready. Let's also say that Pickett wasn't ready and Zeke Naji weren't ready. So you got Murray, Pickett, Najee, Michael Porter Jr., and P. Watt. That's 5 players that wasn't ready and was being held back for their own good. But miraculously, as soon as you take Jokic out of the equation, all 5 of those guys are ready.
What about Brown?
No. But no, I want you to respond to what I just said. So it is your belief that all 5 of those players was not ready, but as soon as you take Jokic out of the equation, miraculously all 5 of them became ready the same year.
Absolutely not. I definitely don't believe. No, it's not by a coincidence. Absolutely not. I agree with you on that. It's not by coincidence. But we got to look. But that's why I brought up Braun. Look what we're talking about. We're talking about Denver, the Denver Nuggets. You know what I mean? Denver, Colorado, in America.
Correct.
There's a reason why this is kind of happening. I can see it. I mean, it's not, Murray, he's the point guard. He's locked in. He's cemented in. But that's kind of how they want to formulate their team. It reminds me of Boston back in the day.
Right. So let's end the conversation with this. I just asked you 1, maybe 2 questions. Question number 1, do you think it's necessary when Jokic come back to continue to play triple-double basketball?
Yes, because they want to push that narrative on their team. That's their identity at this point. If they want to keep their identity and they don't want to change their identity mid-season, which they're not going to do, they're going to do the dumb triple-double basketball.
Okay, last question. And I appreciate you answering it that way. Last question, sir. Can we stop the narrative that Jokic don't have help?
I think that it should have never been created. I don't know why they're doing this, but I mean, we know why. They need their great white hype. I get it. But basketball is a team game. Why not make them all-stars? I don't understand. I don't understand why they're doing this. So I remember Atlanta. Remember Atlanta back in the day? Like, they pushed everybody. They were like, oh, they have this long streak. Everybody's good. I don't know why they didn't do the same for this team. It's confusing to me.
All right, I appreciate it, man. This is a good call, Mike. I appreciate it, man. Make sure you call back another time, man. Keep it locked.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right,
For
brother,
sure.
no problem. All right, let's get another call in, y'all. I appreciate that phone call. We disagreed, but we did it cordially, and it was a pleasant phone call, Mike. I appreciate that, bro. So let's get another call like that. Let's get another disagreement in here. I'm willing to hear y'all out. Coalition brother 1729. Oh my God, he is literally telling us without telling us that Jokic is told to play triple above basketball because Denver is a racist city. Oh man. Caller from, is that Utah? Caller from Utah. What's up?
Hey, what's going on, Mill? This is Aaron, man.
Oh, hey, what's up, big dog? What's up?
Nothing much, man. That last caller, man, he kind of, I don't know, man. He was kind of confusing at the end, but but all this wait your turn, like what he was saying earlier, man, you know how many cats all the way down to high school has had to go through that. Wait your turn.
Correct.
And it's just, to me, it's bad for the game.
It can be for sure. It can be for sure because that's what Derrick Harris was doing with Kobe. But go ahead.
Yeah, when you got players that you know can impact the game, especially for your team, can impact your team. And I'm not going to say impact the team to where it makes them automatic contenders, but when it comes to execution, when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, finding out what player is what in any situation, you know, down the stretch, when the game is, you know what I'm saying, when the game is kind of like at an even flow, like half court transition, like just getting the players out there, knowing what they can do, knowing when they can do it, like that's basketball.
Correct.
That's being a coach. That's knowing situational, like, okay, I know down the stretch, you know what I'm saying, this guy, man, he makes big shots. Robert Horry. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. you could plug players in like that. So to have players waiting their turn, to me, is stupid. Because I already knew Michael Porter Jr. had game, and I used to wonder. I used to talk to my cousin. I was like, man, I don't know why they got him as a spot up shooter, but Michael Porter Jr., like, he can put the ball on the floor.
He can and will.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he know how to play too. Like he come from a basketball family. He knows how to play basketball.
Exactly.
You got to be good if you was a superstar all your life, and then you get to the league and somebody say, "Hey man, we want to convert you to just a catch and shoot shooter." Like you get what I'm saying? Exactly. Like for somebody like Clay to be a catch and shoot, he was bred to be a shooter, right? So that's his identity. For a superstar who was coming in out of high school and into college into the league to be a number one option like KD, to just say, I just changed my game to just be a shooter, you got to be very good, dog. You got to be good, because if you try to force Jokic to change his game to be, I don't know, a shooter. You can't convert Jokic to be what Michael Porter Jr. is and be a catch and shoot shooter. Like if it was a team, if somebody say, okay, Jokic, you the best passer on the team, we gonna let you be the point guard, and we got Shaq down low, right? We play through Shaq. We need you to be a 3-point shooter in this offense. He can't convert himself to being a shooter like Michael Porter Jr. did. That's very they give the role players the harder task in the offense. Like, hey, you got to figure out how to get 18 points off catch and shoot assists. But Jokic got all the freedom in the world. Everyone else has to play inside of a phone booth. That's hard.
And you know how frustrating it is as a player knowing that, I got more in my arsenal than than just this.
Very frustrating.
But if you don't play within the system, you can find yourself blackballed in the league. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, he's difficult to coach.
Or on the bench like Kuminga.
Like
on the bench like Kuminga.
Exactly. And Golden State putting it out there, yeah, he's difficult.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. And you're right. Like, I know there's Jokic fans out there, right? But I agree with you. If Joker comes back and says, you know what? Yo, I'm just gonna fall. I'm gonna be the post guy now. Like, I see how everything's run. I see what we got. I'm gonna adjust. And Joker will probably be way more effective with the winning, the winning and the outcome of these games would probably be in their favor if he does adjust to what he's seeing right now. Because I know if I'm sitting on the sideline, I'm like, yo, okay, I'm gonna find a way to. But then again, we're not making millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And we're not, you know what I'm saying, in our stats.
With this team Denver has, with how deep it is and how especially last year when they had Michael Porter Jr., they should be getting 68 wins just like OKC Thunder got 68 wins last year. Like, they should be above 60 plus wins. But they can't seem to get there. Last year they started the season 0-2. They got blew out by OKC by almost 20. Then they lost to the Clippers. Then they almost lost to the Raptors and the Nets, but both of those games went into overtime, and they squeaked it out. They squeaked it out. I watched those games. They should have been. And look, the whistle was very favorable for them, right? The whistle was very much in their favor in those games. So it took a slanted whistle to beat Toronto and Brooklyn after they started 0-2, and then they went and lost to Minnesota. So they really could have started the season of 0-5. That's with Jokic. That's with Jokic.
And look at Aaron Gordon. Look how he had to adjust his game when he came from Orlando.
Had to be a catch and shoot shooter.
And I think people forgot about the Orlando Aaron Gordon.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a fringe all-star. He was a fringe all-star. His last year there, or maybe the year before, he was almost all-star.
Yeah, and it took him a couple years, but they ended up winning one in Denver. You know what I'm saying? He had to adjust. And like you said, you know, that triple-dub basketball, they got lucky and won it, but it's been hard for them to get back. And one more thing, all that, you know, you got to wait your turn.
Yeah.
Look at Tyrese Maxey. You remember when he used to come off the bench playing behind Harden?
Yep.
And it was like, yo, y'all need to let this young man go. He's ready.
Yeah. And it took Embiid getting hurt for them to finally put him out there for real. Yeah.
And look at Tyrese Maxey now. You know what I'm saying? So I understand for some players, they need that development, but as you know, in the pros, you got to be able to see that, and you got to be able to say, you know what, we got to get this guy on the court. Not know, he's gonna have to wait his turn. Nah, man, you don't do that to know. You don't do that to talent. You know what I'm saying? Like real deal talent. You just don't do that to him.
Yeah.
But all right, man. Hey, appreciate it, Bill.
No doubt, man. Thanks for the call.
All right.
Yep. All right. The last thing I'm gonna talk about before I get to the next topic is right now. Let me look this up. Right now, January 16th. The NBA standings right now. The Nuggets are 28-13. They've played 9 games without Jokic. They're number 2 in the West. Well, tied for number 2 with the Spurs. 28-13. On this same date and time last year. Let me see if I can pull up. Let me stop sharing this. I'm gonna put this on screen. All right. Hey, put a 1 in the chat if y'all can still hear me. Somebody put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me. Last time I shared my screen, the sound went out. So real quick, put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me. Test. Oh shoot, they can't hear me. Can y'all hear me? Somebody put a 1 in the chat. Okay, all right, good. All right, cool. All right, so let me see if I can blow this up a little bit. Let me find the dates. Where's the dates at? January 15th right there. All right, so you see right here, let me highlight it. You see the highlight? That's January 15th last year. The Denver Nuggets was 24-16. They have more wins this year after missing 9 games without their best player. There was 24-16 last year with Jokic healthy. With Jokic not been healthy, they're 28-13 at the same time right now. So this whole notion that they're going to be a bottom-feeding team, a lottery team without Jokic and all that stuff, y'all got to chill with that, man. Y'all got to kill that narrative. Right? Just admit, man, he got good teammates. No one's trying to say they're better without him. Nobody's trying to say they don't need him. It's only 2 points that I'm trying to make. 1, his teammates are not bums. And 2, they can get shots without him playing point center. That's not necessary. He's only playing point center for triple-double stats. He's not playing point center because his teammates can't ball and because he has to do it. Right? I respect triple-doubles when they come not planned or not scheduled. You can't schedule your triple-doubles. And when you run an offense where you take yourself out of your natural position to run point guard, you're hunting assists. And when Westbrook was taking himself out of his natural point guard position to come down and hunt rebounds, that's stat padding. Westbrook was stat padding, and Nikola Jokic just stat padding. Westbrook's natural position got him assists because he was the point guard. His natural role got him double-digit points because he was the primary scorer. So a double-double was natural for him. To get the triple-double, he had to go outside of the box because what normally is supposed to happen off a defensive rebound is your point guard that want to push the ball up floor. You got bigs like Steven Adams in the game to grab those rebounds and outlet pass it to your point guard for early offense. He's foregoing the opportunity for early offense so he can come down and grab stat pad and rebounds where he didn't need to. Adams could have grabbed it. Now, if you're playing a team like, say, for instance, the Houston Rockets right now, they got a great rebounding in Sengun, a great rebounding in Adams, a great rebounding Jabari Smith Jr., a great rebounding in Durant. They're huge. They're the best rebounding team by far in the league. They grab so many offensive rebounds, it's ridiculous. So when you see them on your scouting report, that's when you might have to say, hey, Westbrook, you're a great rebounder as a guard. Tonight, we need you to help the bigs on the glass. That's when you get triple doubles that are respectable. Like, shoot, man, they needed that triple double. They needed him to help them rebound tonight, and he did it. On time triple double. Right? Or Magic Johnson, hey, Kareem just twisted his ankle. We in game 4 of the finals. We need you to play center tonight. And then you mess around and get a triple double like that. Yes, I'm cool with that. But if Magic Johnson wanted to average a triple double, then he would have to tell Kareem, hey, I'm coming out here to get some of your rebounds, dog, for my numbers. And that's what Jokic is doing. Hey, Jamal, hey, I know you're the point guard, but I'm getting some of those assists because I need them for my numbers. Right? That's what they're doing. So, yeah. Take that how you want to take it. But it's not a respectable thing to go out of your way to pad your stats. You don't have to play that way. You don't have to play that way. And look, and I respect that they do high screen and roll with a 2-man game with Jokic and Murray. However, there's a better way they can win. And furthermore, like we've seen the high screen and roll work for Stockton and Malone so many years. They ran it perfectly, but it's one of those things where like we've seen the Splash Brothers 3-point approach work with Steph and Clay. And just because it worked for Steph and Clay don't mean you copy it and think that you're going to have the same result. So Murray and Jokic ain't quite Stockton and Malone. And this ain't quite 90s basketball. So the way the screen and roll is now, that's an offense you run in the fourth quarter of a tight game. And, you know, I only want my 2 best players to touch the ball right now. But this wouldn't be my bread and butter. Like, hey, for 4 quarters, we're doing this. No, that wouldn't be my offense. For 4 quarters, we were doing it. And even with them doing that high screen and roll with Stockton and Malone still got the ball on the post a ton and did post work. They still ran Hornacek off screens. Right? Even Antoine Carr, when he got in the game, got the ball on the post sometime. So there's no excuse. There's no excuse. Utilize your players. You have them. That's what OKC does. I want y'all to watch OKC's games, right? Even though SGA is the point guard, I want y'all to watch. It don't matter if it's a made basket or rebound. You can count how many people initiates the offense and brings the ball up court. I see Caruso bring the ball up court. I seen him get the ball off a rebound and bring it up, initiate the offense. I seen Jalen Williams do it. I seen AJ Mitchell do it. I seen Shea do it. I seen Wiggins do it. I seen Dort do it. I've seen Cason Wallace do it. I've even seen Conrad Williams do it. It don't matter who get the rebound. Anybody can take the ball up court and make a play. That's what makes them dangerous. But it's some teams where you get the rebound or it's a made basket. If you watch Denver, only Jokic or Murray can bring the ball up court and initiate the offense. They're the only 2. So every time they get the ball, change of possession, they looking for one of those 2 dudes. And it's my pet peeve off a made basket that Jokic just gave up. Somebody just drove to the cup and gave him, all in his face. And the first thing he do is grab the ball, throw it out of bounds to whoever's there and ask for it back real quick so he can rush up the court on a fat break. It's my pet peeve. I hate that. Get your fat ass up the court and put somebody behind your back and seal them for early offense. What is your fat ass asking for the ball for? And you just gave up 2 points. You ain't had no sense of urgency when this dude came down here and put that floater right in your daggone face. You didn't even jump. You didn't even raise your fat elbows up. But then you got the nerve to take the ball out of the net and quickly throw it to whoever taking it out and ask for it back, and you ready to run full speed for a fat break. And if you're running the break, who's going to finish the break? Jamal Murray? Does it look right for your 7-footer to run up the floor, down the middle of the court on a fat break, and Jamal Murray run the lanes? That's backwards. That's the chessboard that I was talking about early, where you say that the king can move just like the queen. So now I got a 7-footer running the break, and I got a 6'2" guy running the lanes. I lose my option for him to or for the defense to stop the break, or a challenge the break, and you get a ball up, and now I gotta rely on Murray trying to finish at the rim with big men in the paint. Where if it was the other way around and Murray was running the break and Jokic was running the lanes, and I give it up to Jokic and he finish, it could be an and one, or they go have the hard foul and give me 2 free throws, all types of things. But he want that assist so bad he can taste it. He want that assist bad. All right. Punani Kimmer said, I think you and Scap need to argue this out. There's nothing to argue about. There's nothing to argue about. There's hard basketball principles. That's the foundation that basketball is on. I mean, there's nothing that I've said that the precedent hasn't already been set for. Yes, big men rebound. It makes more sense for my big man who's 7 foot and only 3 feet away from the rim. And if he raises his arm, he's only a half foot away from the rim. It makes more sense for him to rebound. And every rebound, defensive rebound, it's always been taught that you look for the outlet pass. That's my point guard. Once I get the ball to my point guard for the outlet, he takes his dribbles toward the rim and get to the middle of the floor. The guy who just ran the rebound is going to run the lanes. Everyone's going to run the lanes. I got the ball in the middle. I got 2 people running the lanes here. The guy who got the rebound will be trailing. But if I got the opportunity to get somebody down there and seal them, then that's what your big should do, go down there and seal them. Now, when you flip-flop that, you miss all these opportunities, because now if Jokic is getting the rebound and he's going coast to coast and and everybody else is running the lanes, I missed that opportunity for somebody to go down there and seal. Well, Aaron Gordon does it a lot. He goes down there and seal. Everybody else runs the lanes and goes to the 3-point line. But it's some missing elements there when I got my 7-footer running the break. I'm missing some things. I'm missing some possibilities. Sometimes they can make it look good, but that's not how you coach. So I wouldn't sit down with a person, and I don't know his background with basketball or the sport itself. I don't know his background with that, but it appears that me and him may speak a different language when it comes to basketball. And out of respect for him and out of respect for me, there's no need for us to have a sit down and speak 2 different languages thinking that we're going to come to some type of understanding. We already don't understand each other. I want you, Punani Kimmis, to go get someone that speaks Tagalog. That's what my Filipino brothers and sisters speak, Tagalog. I want you to go and explain to someone that speaks Tagalog, that speaks no English. He just speaks Tagalog. I want you to sit down with him, and I want you to argue any topic out and try to come to an understanding. And I want you to see how far you get with that. So for that reason alone, once I find out we speak different languages, I would never have a sit down with you. I mean, because it's pointless, and it's not enough hours in a day to give an hour doing that type of back and forth. It's just not fruitful at all. It's just not fruitful. So I respect people that have different opinions, and I respect them enough not to try to change their opinion. So yeah, if me and him have a different understanding about what Denver is and Jokic is and Jokic teammates is and what triple doubles should be viewed as and all that stuff, we just gonna have to not agree on it. And I'm not the type of person that's like, oh no, like we disagree, so I gotta force you to hear me out. Nah, I'm not that type of guy. He's free to have his own. He got his own channel and is doing well. He's free to have his own opinions on that channel, and the people who like to hear that type of opinion, who speak his language, will flock to his channel, and the people who speak my language will flock to my channel. And I think that's what we, what we should leave it. It's just basketball at the end of the day, right? Ain't that what LeBron said? It's just basketball, baby. It's just basketball. There was already AOH. Oh, is that Angry Old Hoops and Sports and Fitness Rants live, where everyone we know, Mill, Robin, Ticket, tried to talk to Scap about this issue. With you know what it is? Yeah, we did do that like last year. This one that was all this one the space. I'm gonna tell you what happened to this YouTube space, because it appears that there's two sides of the coin when it deals with LeBron James. You got people who are super fans of LeBron, and you got people who call LeBron out for some of the things he does on the court, sometimes off the court. And early on, I had a lot of LeBron content out there where I would call out things that he was doing because it was goofy, and like I said, like I hate false narratives. I hate bad basketball. And a lot of times I talk against false narratives and bad basketball, and LeBron is no stranger to bad basketball and false narratives, and his fans isn't either. So I speak against a lot. So it appears to some people that I don't like LeBron, which is not even true, right? I just don't like false narratives, and I love basketball. So, I like it to be played the right way. So I had a lot of LeBron content out there. What happens is that unites certain people. So AOH, Scap, everybody who got the same opinion about LeBron, we kind of got, our algorithms kind of like mix and mingle, where my videos was getting recommended to them and vice versa. And then, people would reach out and, we would do collabs, and they invite them on their panel and stuff like that. And you go on their panel and you have these conversations, and it'd be LeBron, and just dog LeBron out. And what happens is you think that people are dogging LeBron out for the same reason that you are, right? Then fast forward down the line, and when we see stuff like what Luka does and what Jokic does, it's the same thing that what LeBron does. Play triple-double basketball, don't play defense, blame his teammates on all his failures and all that stuff. Like all those same things that we didn't like about what LeBron fans and what LeBron has done, you see the same thing going on around Luka and Jokic. So a person that's reasonable, a person that's objective and fair, if I call it out for when LeBron do it, I'm going to call it out for when Luka and Jokic do it. But what happened is the people that was united with you calling out LeBron see the same thing on the other end and not call it out and scapegoat all. They would turn into LeBron fans, but for Luka and Jokic. And what happened is when we seen that, we started saying, okay, there's a discrepancy. Why call out LeBron and not call out Luka and Jokic? And then you start to realize, oh, okay, I see why you're not calling them out. So you've been objective and calling everybody out the same way. You're not even calling out the person. You're calling out what the person is doing, the play style, the antics, and all the stuff we don't like. Like, I mean, come on, like LeBron called crying and asking for fouls. Luka does it. No defense. Luka does it. Triple double basketball. Luka does it. Ball dominant, he does it. Jack threes up, he does it. It's the same thing. Luka and LeBron is the same thing. But people personally like Luka better for whatever reason, and personally don't like LeBron. So it wasn't basketball when they was talking about LeBron. It was something else. It was either personal, it was emotional, it was feelings. I don't know what it was. But it appears that people have more of a different type of connection to Luka and Jokic, and they have just dislike for LeBron. And I'm like, dude, it's the same thing, bro. And it's supposed to be just basketball. So if you're not calling out everybody when they do the same thing, it looks really bad. It looks really funny to a lot of people. And, that rubs people the wrong way. So I think, I think that's how the space was early on. People unite to talk about LeBron, and then people get separated when it's dealing with Luka and Jokic. It is what it is. He says, so do I blame Mike Malone for letting Jokic have the reins of the offense? I don't know who's the culprit. I don't know if it's the coach. Because you can't say it's Mike Malone, because Dave Adelman was doing the same thing before Jokic got hurt. I know one thing, Rick Carlisle, I seen what Rick Carlisle offense looks like with the Pacers right now. And I seen what Rick Carlisle's offense looked like when he coached the Dallas Mavericks with Dirk. So I know he don't like triple-double basketball, but I also know he was coaching triple-double basketball with Dallas for about a year or two with Luka. And I don't think he liked it, which is the reason why he didn't resign with Dallas. I want you to think about this. Luka was being regarded as an MVP candidate and a top 3 player in the league, and was doing phenomenal, just putting stats on top of stats on top of stats, playing triple-double basketball. And he wasn't even 23 at the time. And Rick Carlisle looked at a prime superstar that's considered an MVP candidate and a top 3 player that's 23 years old, ain't never been hurt with no major injury. And Rick Carlisle looked at it and said, yeah, I'm going to Indiana. I want you to think about you leaving the team that you bought the first championship ring to, and you pretty much a made man there. The owner loves you and willing to give you a contract extension. And you decided, yeah, I'm out. Rick Carlisle was like, I'm out, deuces. I'm going to Indiana, and I'm going to trade for Halliburton, and I'm going to run the offense that I want to run. So he didn't want to play triple-double. So obviously someone was forcing him to play triple-double, and that's when ownership is getting involved. I've heard Mark Cuban on several podcasts, and I've heard Mark Cuban on First Take on ESPN back when Dirk played for him. And when they beat the Heat in the finals, he came on First Take and was talking with Skip Bayless, because Skip Bayless was dogging Dallas out, or dogging LeBron out. And Mark Cuban was really protecting LeBron, was like, you got to give us credit too. And Mark Cuban talked about their philosophy and scheme and that offensive scheme, what they did in that series, like he was part of the planning process. He said, when we sat down with the coaches, blah, blah, blah. And he, like, you can look it up on Google, when he was like, look up the segment of Mark Cuban with Skip Bayless. And when he explained what Dallas was doing, I was like, dang, the owner? Like, because when you hear people talk about the triangle offense from the Bulls, it's either Jordan, Rodman, Pippen, some of the players, or Phil Jackson. I've never heard the GM or the owner sit down in the interview and go through schematics of offense and defense. Like, who's involved like that? I don't even think former players their own team. I don't even think Michael Jordan was involved like that when it came to the coaches coming up with schemes. Maybe he was, I don't know. But if he was, he's a former player. Mark Cuban is a numbers guy. He trusts analytics and all of that stuff. Like, I think he made his first, couple of, $100 million based on some type of tech company. Like, he swears by analytics. He loves it. He swears by analytics. So, I think Mark Cuban is big on analytics, and I think Mark Cuban, he has an analytic guy, for his philosophy on how the team is going to operate. And I think he trusts it so much that he dictates the coach on what they're going to do. And I think he wanted Luka to play that style. And he'd also been on podcasts talking about how much he wanted Luka to get MVP. And I was like, I've never heard an owner lobby for MVP for like this. I did videos on this. Like, Mark Cuban talked about Luka getting MVP and all this stuff. Like, he was all about it. And, and I think he knew what it was going to take for him to get MVP, and he trusts his analytics on everything. So I think that's how they came up with some of their game plan. And Rick Carlisle didn't like it. And he left and went to Indiana. Do you think Adams should be in the coach of the year discussion? Yeah, he did. He's doing a phenomenal job losing this player, but he won't be the leading candidate. So if we're talking about being in the discussion, being maybe a top 5 coach in the discussion, maybe, yeah. I definitely can think of. I would go to Detroit with Bickerstaff. He deserves consideration. I mean, you're never going to take the team with the best record in the league, his head coach, out of consideration. But I wouldn't put him number 2. I would say Bickerstaff from Detroit would be 1. I would say I like the job that San Antonio's coach is doing. So maybe he would be 2. OKC coach would be 3. And maybe in that top 5, Adams could be in there. But he's not the leading candidate at all. Scap is on point with his takes on Kobe and LeBrick, but his glazing of Jokic is exhausting. Shout out to Scap, man. Scap stopped keeping it real once he went on Jason Whitlock's show. All right, y'all. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not one to say, and I already said too much about, whatever. I don't like talking about other people on my channel. Sports and Free Rant, Sports C, call out Luka and Jokic as well, especially Sports Ranch. Yeah. I don't like, I just keep that in the comments, y'all. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I know how to handle not agreeing with somebody, and I'm not go dog him or dog his channel, nothing like that. We just disagree. That's all. We just disagree. All right. Ain't the OKC coach still dominating better than the Pistons, but in the West? Yeah, I mean, but you know how it is, man. Like, a coach meeting expectations versus a coach exceeding expectations. You kind of want to get a nod to the guy that's exceeding expectations. Like, who didn't expect OKC to have the best record in the league? So I think I mean, who expected Detroit to have the second best record in the league? Not me. So he said I'll be dogging Curry. Nah, I just be holding Curry. I say what I see. I say what I see, Aaron. That's all. I just say what I see. Y'all go learn that about me, man. I just say what I see. I'm like Ryan Burgundy, man. If you put it on the teleprompter, I will read it exactly the way it is. So whatever I see on the basketball floor or around the game, I'm going to say it the way I see it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to pull no punches. I'm just going to say what I see. It is what it is. If the baby is ugly, I'm going to call it ugly. Like people come to me and be like, man, how dare you call that baby ugly? Man, that baby didn't do nothing. And I'm like, but is it true though? Is the baby ugly or not? Like when I call Michael Jordan sensitive. Yeah, y'all might not want to think of the GOAT as being sensitive. But so what? It's true. But yeah, but sensitive is such a negative word, and you can never say nothing negative about the GOAT and Michael Jordan. You can't do that. But he's sensitive, it is. And Curry is passive. And he let Draymond Green and Steve Kerr run that organization into the freaking ground. And Curry has, somebody tweeted out, it's a popular Twitter account called 73&9, and they lied. And he tweeted out the other day, Steph Curry had 7 points last night, and nobody on ESPN said a word. He said Steph Curry is the most coddled superstar that we have. Like every bad blunder that Steph Curry has had, no one has gave him hell for it. They gave KD hell for blowing a 3-1 lead against the Warriors, but nobody gave Steph Curry hell for blowing a 3-1 lead against the Cavs. Steph Curry has had 2 for 20 from 3 shooting nights this season and last season. Nobody gave him hell. He's had under 10 points multiple times. He's not showed up multiple times. As long as he can at least in 5 games go off for 30 or 40 and show us some old Steph Curry, we'll praise him. But we just ignore every blunder that he's had. I mean, I'll look it up right now. Let me look up Steph's basketball reference. Right? I want to know how many times he scored under 10 points this season. They need him to get his average every night for them to win, sometimes more. They need him to get his average every night at least, and sometimes more. So I might just look up how many times he didn't get his average this year. He's averaging 28 points this season in 32 games, right? Let's look at this game log. What year is it? 2024, 25. No, 2026. 25, 26. All right, let's look at this. Let's look at this game log. All right, where's these points at? Okay, he's had a 9-point game. He shot 2 for 11. Nobody said a word. That's 1. He's had an 11-point game. He shot 4 for 13. Right? That's 2 subpar games. He's had a 14-point game. He shot 4 for 13. They only lost about 4 points that game. What is this right here? He's had a 15-point game. They lost that one by 1 point. He shot 3 for 13. There's that 7-point game, 2 for 9. 2 for 9, 7 points. He shot 2 for 8 from 3. So all his shots were threes except 1. Lord of mercy. Right? So, yeah, he got some stinkers. What about his turnovers? He don't even handle the ball primarily. 5 turnovers, 1 game. 5 another game, back-to-back games. Another 5 turnover game. A 7 turnover game. A 5 turnover game. And a bunch of 4 turnover games. Like, this is unreal, dog. This is your king? This is your king. This is your king. Come on, y'all. Be real. Be for real. But at least if a player's not playing like he should be playing, I can say it. I'm not making whole videos explaining why somebody playing poorly should be overlooked or why somebody not defending should be overlooked. Who do I got moderators in the chat? This person I just put on screen, go ahead and ban him from the channel. Cause I don't want to, I got so much respect for you, no bum bull. I got so much respect for you. I would never want you to see any of my my rage bait, right? I don't even want you to the algorithm to send this your way no more. So we'll go ahead and take care of you, big dog. Ban user and delete their comments gladly, right? All right, y'all. I'll be back, man. I'll be back later on today, man. We got more topics we got to touch on. So thank y'all for joining the stream. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.